In 2000, the National Reading Panel published its report Teaching Children to Read, and in it, it named what it called the 5 pillars of effective reading instruction, including phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. Most educators would say, yes, I agree with that list. But what I often find in schools is that most of us treat vocabulary not as a pillar of reading instruction, but more of an ornament on the pillar of reading instruction. Something that you do when the important stuff is done. Something that you do when you've got the time for it. If we're being honest with ourselves, we'd recognize that we don't often treat vocabulary like the pillar we claim it to be. I'm here to help you reestablish vocabulary as a pillar alongside phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, and comprehension. And if you teach the reading units of study or any brand name curriculum, I have the tools to help you with my Word Love vocabulary curriculum and staff development. I'm Mike Oakes, author and creator of Word Love. I know you're facing issues with vocabulary. How do I know? Because teachers tell me. Year in, year out, year after year. Let me know if any of these vocabulary issues I'm about to name fit you. Your vocabulary scores are low. You're welcoming an increasing number of multilingual language learners into your building or district. Your state is mandating that you follow a science of reading curriculum. Your students speak about characters in limited ways, and their writing reveals less than robust vocabulary than you might hope. Your students are having difficulty inferring the meanings of words as they read, either by breaking them apart into their morphological aspects or by using context. Your students maybe aren't quite sure even how to use dictionaries. Your students perhaps aren't as curious, interested, or even very aware of words and what they do, at least not as much as you'd hope. Your students are having difficulty comprehending complex texts or communicating with you and others in their talk. If one or any of these issues resonates with you, I can help. Word Love vocabulary curriculum for grades K through 8 addresses all of these challenges and turns them into opportunities for your students' vocabulary development and acquisition. Word Love for units of study, grades K through 5, is an explicit, systematic vocabulary curriculum that will not only get your kids understanding more in their reading, it will also get kids to know words so deeply that they'll be able to transfer them with ease into their writing and into their classroom discussion. Lessons are brief, no more than 5 to 7 minutes a day, and highly engaging because kids love learning words. They feel empowered to know words for concepts that they already can grasp and also words for new concepts. Each lesson in Word Love is designed for deep transfer. It's almost as if you're guiding kids through Webb's depth of knowledge or Bloom's taxonomy. As the vocabulary activities, I call them games or word workouts, as they move along, they get more cognitively complex, which leads to purposeful, deliberate, gradual release to transfer. Word Love is science of reading. My curriculum is based on Beck, McKeown, and Kuchen's methods from their decades of research studying how to teach a bank of words well to students. And their work culminates in that seminal text, Bringing Words to Life. Beck and her colleagues are generally regarded as one of the best, if not the best, researchers when it comes to teaching a bank of individual words to students. Their methods are one of 2 that have been found to not only boost vocabulary acquisition, but also reading comprehension. Additionally, Word Love incorporates the latest in not only the science of reading, but also the science of learning. That is, cognitive science learning strategies that help humans learn, retain, and transfer information, especially as described by Rudiger, McDaniel, and Brown in their text, Make It Stick, The Science of Successful Learning. Word Love encourages constant retrieval practice, space practice, and interleaving, as well as the 5 other cognitive science learning strategies recommended in that text, all to assist with student learning and retention and transfer of vocabulary. Let me tell you a little bit more about how a unit goes. Each Word Love unit is paired with a reading unit of study and is matched to that unit of study's read aloud. I cull the words and concepts from those read aloud text. And then what I did is I referenced them against vocabulary researcher Michael Graves' list, the first 4,000 words, which are the 4,000 most frequently occurring words that kids will see in school. Then I take my list and I reference them against high stakes exams from across the country, especially if there's any academic vocabulary that pops up in them. Then I pared down that list and I sent out a survey to thousands of educators from across the country and around the world who signed up to my newsletter, and I asked them, which of these words do you think is particularly good for your grade level? After I get feedback from teachers, I cull the list to about 9 to 15 words per unit, depending on the grade. Generally, when you teach word love to students, you first invite them to self-assess their knowledge of each word in the word bank, which ranges from 3 to 5 words per word bank. Then you introduce each word one at a time, providing a context, a kid-friendly definition, showing a beautiful color chart image made by my friend and colleague Kimberly Fox, and then offering a gesture, all to help solidify the learning of the word. Then you first play an example, non-example game with each individual word. Once you've introduced all of your words in the word bank, then you play word workout games with the entire word bank. The first category of games, when you play with the entire word bank, I call connecting games, where students have to connect a word from the word bank to a bank of examples that you provide. After that, students play generating games. This is the first game where kids get an opportunity to transfer different situations, examples, and contexts of the word on their own in the world. Then you play a relating game. This is where students compare two of their new vocabulary words from the word bank. And then finally, I offer an assessment for each bend or part in the unit. In the upper grades, I provide a couple of options of assessment. What's great about Word Love, as I mentioned before, is that it incorporates science of learning, cognitive science strategies, especially retrieval practice, space practice, and interleaving. What this means is all the words from part 1 will be spiraled through parts 2 and part 3 of any unit. All the words from part 2 will also be spiraled through parts 2 and parts 3, and so forth. This will lead to greater retention, better transfer into kids' talk, reading, and into their writing. Word love gets results. Kids love it, teachers love it, parents love it. I have pages of hundreds of testimonials of results from happy educators, but let me share with you 2. The first is from Mary, a coach in Michigan, who wrote to me recently. One of our elementary schools has used these materials for 2 years, she writes. Their vocabulary scores were significantly higher than the other building. Now, both buildings are using the materials. Thank you for filling a need. Additionally, another district in New York has taken on Word Love K through 8. In its K through 2 cohort, their mid-year benchmark zoomed upwards in all its vocabulary assessments after teaching Word Love for only 3 months. As I said before, Word Love will fit all of your vocabulary needs. Students will grow in all measures, objective and anecdotal. Teachers, students, and parents will be happy. Kids will have fun learning. And Word Love will pass muster against any state legislation because anyone who knows science of reading and the science of learning will recognize its immediate merits. Don't get left out. Don't be left behind. Check out www.readwritemike.com to see free samples of this curriculum. Sign up for my newsletter where I share free curriculum and materials regularly. Schedule an appointment today to discuss anything you'd like about Word Love. You might also be interested in other Word Love products that I've created, ones that can be paired with or catered to any out-of-the-box literacy curriculum. They include character vocabulary and Word Love morphology. Character vocabulary is a set of units, K5, that teach kids character trait words so that they go beyond describing their characters in books as just nice or brave, or just having a character trait worksheet that students rarely use. Word Love Morphology is a series of units for grades 3 through 8, which teaches students the most important prefixes, suffixes, and Greek and Latin roots to help them infer the meanings of words as they read on their own without anybody else's help. Check out www.readwritemike.com and sign up for my newsletter for more information. Thanks for taking the time to be curious about Word Love. I'm Mike Oakes, founder and creator of Word Love Vocabulary Curriculum. Remember, the more you know, the more you can learn. That's true with words, and it's true in life. I hope you learn with me.